What's going on, guys? It's Tyler Jones. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for continuing to rock with me. Doing something a little bit different today versus the regular reaction videos, whether it was on pop culture, whether it is on finances, like we're about to talk about today, or anything else, right? And so, this is something that I've been having on my checklist to get done because there are so many people that aren't knowledgeable about car loans and how car loans, cars in general, are making you poor. And I come from a demographic, and it has nothing to do with where you're from, race, but specifically what I've seen growing up in my culture. Cars have been the number one signal of wealth growing up. And I'm here to say that they failed us. They lied to us. That is completely not the case. If anything, cars is the number one wealth killer, not only for my type of demographic or my type of racial group, but for all. It's a wealth killer. What a lot of people don't know is your car loan, your car note, what you pay every month on that car that you ultimately can't afford, most of the time it's the second highest bill households have. First one is your rent or your mortgage, rightfully so. And even then, some people still overspend on that category. And then it's your car loan. It's your car loan. Your car loan is killing you from being able to create wealth for yourself. And a lot of people don't understand that cars depreciate. Cars depreciate in value is not an asset unless you're able to buy a vehicle that holds its value, which is far few in between. I know you have to start talking exotic levels now. And two, you're actually able to use that vehicle to help you produce revenue, or it's helping you from a business perspective. Prime example, taxes. Section 179, you're able to fully depreciate a vehicle if it's over 6,000 pounds. Back during the Biden administration, I know they decreased the levels that you could depreciate. It used to be 100%. They dropped it to 80. Trump came back into office. He increased it back up to 100% depreciation. So, for example, if you made $500,000 in a year, right, and you need to figure out how to offset your taxes, and you need a company vehicle, you actually need it. You're not just spending money just to spend it. And let's say that company vehicle, which let's just say a pickup truck, that's the only thing I can really think of, that would be 6,000 pounds. We're not going to talk about no G-Wagons or nothing like that. And let's say that truck was $100,000. You have now decreased your tax liability from $500,000 to $400,000. But most people don't even do that because, let's be honest, most people aren't business owners, right? This video is for people that are everyday 9-to-5 people, people that feel like they got to go out and just finance a whole bunch of cars out of egregious interest rate. I've seen interest rates at 10-15%. And most people, especially in my generation, what they want to do, they want to put the least amount of money down. Not knowing that the least amount of money you put down, ultimately, the more money you're giving to the banks. You're giving the banks more money, right? And that's something that I'm going to show you guys a little bit later today. It's called an amortization schedule, right? A lot of people, and I was watching a video and I thought I was going to react to it, but then I left it alone. But she was speaking on how she bought a $50,000 car. Her first year, she made $10,000 in payments. So rightfully so, she thought she only owed $40,000 left. Wrong. The banks are always going to make sure they get their money first in that amortization level. If you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, I will show that a little bit later in the video, but the banks are always going to get their money first. Same thing as a mortgage. When that loan is fresh and new, majority of those payments, 95% of those payments are going to the bank. The bank wants to make sure they are in the best position possible in case you default on that loan. You stop paying on that loan and then they have to repossess the car. A lot of people don't know if you don't make payments after 3 months, they're coming to repossess the car. They're going to come repossess the car. They pray to God that the car isn't damaged, and then they're going to sell it off at an auction and then write off the rest for tax purposes, which is what the IRS allows these big financing companies to do. You don't truly own the vehicle until it's completely paid off. But we're such an age now where, again, people think the kind of car you drive shows success, and that's not the truth. You have the guy that's riding around in a very nice luxury car that don't even have a 6-month emergency fund or even $1,000 in his account. But then you got the guy that's rolling around in something raggedy. He's wearing a regular Hanes t-shirt, some cargo pants, and some shoes that he got off of from Marshalls or Ross, Walmart, wherever the case may be. And he has a 6-figure to 7-figure net worth. Why? Because he understands that him putting his money into something every single month that's going to go down in value, is going to depreciate, it's not going to build him wealth. It's just not. 30,000 to 40,000 cars are sold daily. 90% of those cars are financed, right? 90% of those cars are financed, and then within the 5 years of you owning that car, 40 to 50% of it is depreciated in value. 40 to 50% of it is depreciated in value. And people don't really truly understand that. Let alone the other hidden costs such as insurance, maintenance. The more expensive the car, the more oil it takes, the bigger the tires, right? The bigger the brakes. You got to pay to play. Y'all ever seen a chick riding down in Atlanta, man, with a Benz and it looked beat up? She riding down the interstate in it ain't nice anymore, but in a BMW or a Benz or an Escalade truck, and the brakes is squeaking, black smoke coming all out the tailpipes, oil change 10,000 miles overdue. People are purchasing way too much car, and they're not even able to handle the maintenance that comes with owning a car, let alone the insurance. I make the argument that 40% of y'all in Atlanta don't even have insurance. Y'all risking it. For people like me that got insurance, y'all risking it. So keeping up with the Joneses has been a wealth killer. It's been a wealth killer for ultimately people that's not even going to care after seeing the car one time. And now after that 90 days have wore off, the nostalgia of having a nice car after 90 days have wore off. Now that's just something you're paying off on every single month. But let me show you guys what I mean by it's killing your wealth. Let me show you guys. So here's an auto loan calculator, right? We're going to increase this screen a little. Here's an auto loan calculator for guys that don't know. You should do this, by the way, if you do have to purchase a car, because I get it. Everybody can't buy a cash car, but what I'm saying is you could still buy the $10,000 car out there. You could still buy a cash car and not have to worry about payments and be able to then invest in your future without giving it to the banks. But look, so here we have, let's just say, let's be modest, right? Let's say we're going to do a $35,000 car. Most people finance for 60 months. Now they have it to where you can finance for 72 to 84 months. But again, people don't understand the longer you finance, the more money you're ultimately giving to the finance company. They got a 5% interest rate here, but most of y'all, let's just say you have a 6.5% interest rate, $10,000 down. If you don't have good credit, usually they want you to at least put 10%. They want you to at least put 10% down, And then again, I'm just trying to break this down from a C student perspective to make it easy on everybody. And then you have sales tax, 6%, taxes, registration, and other fees. That's something else that they get you guys on. Oh, you don't have money for taxes? You don't have money to complete the registration and all the other title fees, doc fees, all the other fees that these dealerships rob you guys on? We can just incorporate that in the loan. And what you guys do? Okay, that sounds pretty cool. So you guys roll that into the loan, right? And so when we calculate this, what we end up getting is $616.33 a month. It's what you guys are paying. The amount of interest you guys are paying over the total loan is $5,480.02 in interest. The total price, once it's all said and done, on a car that was $35,000, the total loan was $31,000 after you put the $3,500 down, you guys still end up paying $47,080.02 after 5 years for a car. Remember that I said that depreciates 40 to 50% after 5 years. The car is worth no more than $18,000. The car is worth no more than $18,000. So let's look at the amortization schedule, right? Down here, this is what I was referring to. We can go monthly. So right here is what we call an amortization schedule. You got to look at this, man. Your first month, you see how you got the $170 in interest. Only $445 of that is going towards the principal. As you make more and more payments, the interest that you pay goes down. The money you're paying towards the principal goes up. But again, it's not an even 50-50 exchange like most people think. Or I don't know, a 70-30 exchange that most people think. Most people think, okay, 70% of my payments are going towards the principal and then the banks are getting their money on the tail end. No, it does not work like that. It does not work like that at all. So you got that through year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and then year 5, guys. Now, let's say we took that money, right, and we put it into the market. $616.33 a month. Let's say we started off with that $35,000 down, $3,500 down. After 5 years, the S&P historically has given people a 10% return, right? And let's just say, again, that 616, I believe it was 616. Let's see. Yep, 616.33. So if you actually put that money into the market, when you have no debt, no car loans, no anything, and you can actually invest, right? In 5 years, instead of having an asset that is worth half of what you paid for, you will have $53,485.37, starting out with only $3,500. Your money made 13 grand without you having to do anything, just by simply just putting it into the market. Just by simply putting it into the market. So this is the power of compound interest. This is the power of being able to use your natural resources that you work for Monday through Friday and get your check. This is what happens when you're able to delegate your finances into investing back into yourself. Now, let's just say you don't invest or contribute anything else after those 5 years. We're going to do $53,485.37. And let's just say you just wanted to let it sit there for another 15 years. Oh, sorry. Hold on. What we got going on? Okay, they want me to put something in. So let's just say we put $1 in, right? Whatever. You now have almost $250,000. And look at this part. The total interest meaning money you didn't have to work for. $170,000 over 15 years by just letting your money sit, not even contributing anything else thereafter. That's the power of compound interest, guys. Again, car loans are killing us. We got to do better. If you're not in a position to buy that car outright, don't buy it at all. Put money into investments, especially with the amount of money people are now charging for cars. They're only going to keep going up. I want nice things too, but you got to make sure you're in a position or you have enough assets to be able to pay for those liabilities if you choose to go out and buy them. I love you guys. I appreciate you for continuing to rock with me. Hopefully this was informative. Let me know in the comments if you like it, if you didn't like it. I got a couple other video ideas that I just want to do to be able to show you guys a different perspective of the financial world. And we'll just keep pushing from there, man. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.